Hey guys, in this lesson, I show you how to do frame-by-frame animation in Anime Studio. Anime Studio was not designed to be a frame-by-frame animation software. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot do frame-by-frame animation in it. It's just a bit different than Flash or Toon Boom. It's also a bit more limiting, I would say. So if you are looking for frame-by-frame animation, I would definitely recommend that you look towards Flash or Toon Boom, as they provide a much more user-friendly interface when it comes to that type of animation. But if you're looking just for a simple frame-by-frame animation for your Anime Studio project, this is how you would do it. So to get started, what I need you to do is draw out a few different layers, basically dictating what your frames will be on the timeline. So for instance, in this example, just for this tutorial, I did a very simple animation where at frame 1 or layer 1 on my layers, I start with a simple line, and then frame 2, the line gets bigger, and as we keep going, I basically draw out a cartoon face just by using different layers and piecing different lines together each time for each advancing layer. So basically, I'm going to take these layers and plop them on the timeline so that when you watch this, it looks like this face is being drawn out in frame by frame. Now, there are, of course, much more advanced things you can do with frame by frame animation, but for demonstration's sake, I thought this would just be easier to pull off. So, go ahead and draw out your frames for your frame by frame animation, drawing out each frame as a vector layer and numbering them accordingly. Next, let's scroll up to the top and choose New Layer and choose Switch Layer. Now, I will name this layer Animation, and I'm going to drag and drop all 26 layers into the Switch Layer. Now, you could make the Switch Layer right away and just make each new vector layer in the Switch Layer to save you some steps. But I thought I would demonstrate this step just in case you're not familiar with it. So, drag all of those layers into the Switch Layer. And you'll know this has happened once your layers are indented and you can hit this arrow to hide and show them. And next, I will make sure all layers are visible by holding in my Alt key and double-clicking on layer 1 so everything is visible. Now, with the animation layer selected and with us being on frame 0, let's advance now to frame 1. And once on frame 1, right-click on the animation layer and choose 1. That will now display our first frame. Now let's advance forward 1 or 2 frames depending on how fast you want your animation to display. I'll just go 2 frames. And now choose 2 by right-clicking on the switch layer and selecting 2. And now you just keep doing this until you have completed showing all of your different layers. Okay, so once you have put down all of your layers, we can go back to frame 1 or 0 and hit play to see this play out. And as you can see, it draws out each layer in sequence, just how I put it down. Now again, this is a very simple example. I mean, you could do all sorts of different things. Why would you want to do frame by frame animation? Well, it depends on your style. Frame by frame gives you a whole different feel to the animation. It also can be a lot more complex. While bone animation is great, and it gives you advantages like ease of use and just being able to quickly produce high quality stuff, frame by frame gives you much more control over what you're doing, but again, at the cost of it being quite time consuming. So it just depends on how you want to approach it. But anyway, that is how you do frame by frame animation in Anime Studio. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I will see you next time.